In this video, I'm going to discuss Nurbs surfaces in more detail. Nurbs, N-U-R-B-S, stands for non-uniform rational B-spline. What that is a special type of curve that's defined mathematically. Nurbs surfaces are based on these curves. Nurbs have the advantage of requiring relatively little data to store them by the program. They also have the advantage of being very smooth or very curvy with, again, very little data. Nurbs are used in the animation industry or even industrial design like automotive design. So it's a good style of modeling to learn. In any case, I want to make a couple primitives so you can take a look at Nurbs and see how they actually function. I'll go to Create, Nurbs Primitives. I want to pick a plane, and then I'll go back and make a sphere. And I'll dolly in. And then I want to move the sphere aside so we can see both. And then I'll shade these. So there's a plane and a sphere. Now, even though they look significantly different, they're both based on the same basic Nurbs surface. In fact, all Nurbs surfaces are based on a square or rectangular surface. So that's pretty easy to see with this plane. The sphere is made the same way. Now, the trick with the sphere is you can take a Nurbs plane and roll it up like a cylinder and then pinch some of the edges if you want to. Now, if you look close on the sphere when it's selected, you can see that one of the edge lines is a little bit darker than the others. You might have to look pretty closely, but in my case, here it is. This line's a little darker. That's actually an edge. What has happened is that rectangular plane was rolled up, and two of the edges, for instance, this edge and this edge, are rolled like a cylinder until they meet. And that's where they're meeting on the sphere. So two of the edges meet. Now, in order to get the poles on the sphere, the opposite edges are pinched. So for instance, this edge up at the top here would be pinched down into a single dot. The bottom of the sphere has the opposite edge, so the opposite edge is pinched. So that's the trick with Nurbs. They're always based on a rectangular or square shape. Anything more complex like this sphere had to be rolled up like a cylinder or have some of the edges pinched. Now obviously that's done for you automatically when you create the primitive, but you have the option when you do Nurbs modeling to make more complex shapes. Now sometimes when you do create something very complex, like maybe a human face, and you are using Nurbs, you do have to use multiple surfaces, because the basic Nurbs surface unit requires 4 edges. Even if one of those edges is collapsed down to a point, it still requires 4 edges. So to do something complicated like a face, you have so many different directions the surfaces have to run, you have to construct a face out of multiple Nurbs surfaces. And what you can do is have various surfaces meet up at edges. In that case, there's a whole modeling approach to that. We'll get to Nurbs modeling pretty soon in this video series, so you'll get to see how to start with that.